Mic check, 1 2 1 2. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, live and large. This one is devoted to Carl Miller. Carl has messaged me on the Patreon and he says, you need to get onto the next Less Than Jake album. Let me tell you what, I've not rushed onto the next Less Than Jake album from Pezcore because I like this record. I love this. I'd go as far as saying love this record. Maybe a little less than what I used to do back in the day, but I am familiar with it. We are still going to go through it, as it is a recommendation to listen through. It might not necessarily be a first-time listen, and if I'm to be real with you, as far as like 16 tracks on the album is concerned, I might not be very familiar with 1 or 2 tunes on this record, so there is going to be an air of like newness that I'm going to come across. But with that being said, this is a very nostalgic record to me. I don't know when this was put out. This was definitely put out in the 90s sometime. Have we got a time? 1996, right? So, man, I wasn't, like, you know, consciously available when this record was put out. But I played a game on the PS1 called, I don't know, it was like Street Skater or something. Does anyone know that? I don't know the name of the game in particular, but it had sugar in your gas tank on the soundtrack. And dude, it used to get me so excited listening to that tune. And ever since, you know, I've returned to this record from time to time, and the production value, the sound, the artwork, there's just such an incredibly heavy, nostalgic feel I get from this. I love the energy. I am a very big fan of ska punk music. Some more than others. I like ska as a whole. First wave, second wave, third wave. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump in, shall we? And I've got a controversial one with what I just said. I used to produce with some guy. I was in a hardcore band back in the day, and I produced with some guy who recorded some great UK hardcore bands back then, like some really timeless acts in his attic. Which he was like inhabiting with his parents. He was an older fella, which is quite funny. He was just smoking out, recording in his parents' house, recording these cool acts. And he said, bro, the only ska punk band that mattered was Operation Ivy, because I had an Operation Ivy back patch, because Operation Ivy was like one of my favourite bands, if not my favourite band back then. And without further ado, Automatic is track number 1. Let's go.
This is the old dude, Howard.
What's good, people?
Listening to Less Than Jake.
But what a great sound. I've seen Less Than Jake a couple of times now. They always tour over here with Real Big Fish, Zebrahead, always on tour with them bands. Let's put some respect on the credits. Producer Less Than Jake, studio personnel mixer Michael Rosen, Craig Aronson, producer and co-producer, studio personnel Kevin Reeves. We got Vinny Fiorello, Chris DeMakes and Roger. I think Roger's like the guy inney really. But Roger's the bassist slash vocalist, isn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong. The guy with the dreads, I think he's the more iconic figure in the band. And with that being said, I say that to say this. Less Than Jake are a great band, but it feels like they don't really get rock star status as individuals. Because I don't really know anyone in the band. Like, reading them are just like a bunch of random names to me. As opposed to like having, you know, an iconic name in the band. But then again, maybe I'm just not as in tune with this particular crowd of music as I should be. But hey, you would think like you would know the members of Less Than Jake by name, right? Every day. the thing with this band is that for some reason, I think like Blink-182, they have an emotive power behind them. Even though the music is relatively simple, it doesn't need to have like an emotional value. But for some strange reason, Less Than Jake has got like a heavy undercurrent of like emotional investment. You tell me what I'm trying to say. Come on. Good thing with these bands as well, Less Than Jake, Rancid, and so on and so forth, these punk bands who can write great songs, like they're great songwriters, they use solo sections like additional choruses per se. They create hooks with the melodies. They don't try to show off. This is the way you optimize a solo section. It's not about virtuosity and technicality. If you can sing along to a solo, what a great bit of writing that is. The Beatles were doing that. That's good songwriting. And of course, we've got the hook. Great track, great introduction, great showcase of what we're to expect. Punk rock drums, punk rock tempo, ska punk, clean playing, overt distorted, separate sections, the yin and the yang. We've got Happy Man coming up next. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV signing in. Losing Streak has been recommended. I'm more than happy to listen to Losing Streak. This is track number 2 entitled Happy Man. Let's jump straight in. Not a first time listen, people. Not a first time listen. Well, get back. Interesting staccato melody going on there with the brass section. I never really paid attention to that before. And I should have, the amount of weed I smoked back in my youth listening to this record. Hypothetically. Allegedly. Let's just pay attention to that walking bass line for a second. The bass lines of these ska acts, punk ska, yeah, but like even two-tone ska bands, the bass lines are just so good, man. The basses really do carry it, right? Got a little spider here coming from my microphone. Come on, mate. Folklore is, if you allow a little spider to cross your palm, they will bring you good fortune. They're called money spiders. And mine's just walked across twice, so fingers crossed, people. Mad at the world, oh yeah. It's a little bit more punk rock, but aesthetically, you know, style and, you know, just the energy that is produced from this record. There is a parallel with a band called Mustard Plug. Mustard Plug, incredible band as well. Really good, really good. Next one coming up is 9 Fat Pine. Just so you know, Happy Man wasn't as good as Automatic. Track number 2 wasn't as good as track number 1, but it was still a good tune. 9 Fat Pine coming up. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV signing in. This entire listen through goes out to Carl Miller. Recommended this on the Patreon. This is Losing Streak by Less Than Jake. Not my first time listen, but hell, I'm not bothered. This is a great record. Let's continue on. Obviously, this blends in from Happy Man. What a great change in dynamic. Hooligan melody. There we go, that bass line just grooving out once again. Come on. Da da da. What's that? What's that? Da 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 da. Have we already passed that bridge? Da 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 da. Gallery of Rogue says, great album, but it desperately needs a remix / remaster. Can barely even hear the kick drum. You know what? Listening to it, I did clock on to the... it's an old school mix. I like the mix because it's got a nostalgic sound to it to me. I don't know whether I would get it remastered. I'd be happy to listen to a remaster, most doubt. But yeah, I did consider the drum. I had the crippling misfortune of seeing this band 20 years ago. They were supposed to be the headliners after Dropkick Murphys, and the Living End played 2 blistering sets. Then Less Than Jake ambled on the stage as half of the audience made for the exit. The Living End. I can understand Dropkick Murphys, but Living End haven't really, you know, stood up, have they really? But then again, I'm not a Living End head. All I know is that last night I had me a dream, because it's on the bloody Tony Hawk soundtrack. That was Living End, wasn't it? They got a double bass in that band. There we go. 9 Fat Pine, half decent tune. The best bit's the intro, the blend and the intro. What a great sound this is. That's a great sound. Great atmosphere. I like that. I really like that melody. I really like that energy that comes from that. And now we got one of my favourite punk tracks of all time coming up next. This is going to be good. Track number 4 coming up. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV signing in. Less Than Jake, Losing Streak, track 4 of 16. Great big record, but then again, so was Pezcore. These lot don't mess around when it comes to putting substantial material on their records. So I can give you an insight onto my personal opinion on this track. This is one of my favourite, like, punk songs of all time, let alone, like, third wave ska punk. I think this is an absolutely pristine track, and for so many reasons. I think the majority of it is through my lens of nostalgia, because this track was on some skateboarding game on the PS1 when I was a young kid, and it really stood out to me. I loved this. I thought it matched the gameplay very well. And do you know when you just... there are some game soundtracks that just stick with you through life. Me personally, Tony Hawk's soundtrack really did redefine my music taste. But prior to Tony Hawk's, there was this one skateboarding game that had this on the soundtrack, and this was the only song on that soundtrack I can remember. It must have been called Street Skater or something like that. But yeah. Whether it's purely down to that, which I'm sure a lot of it, say half of my sort of acclaim to this track is, I still think it's an absolute banger of a tune. Let's go. Sugar in your gas tank. It's side to side, front to back. It's a mosh tune, I think. Better. Straight to the chorus. Better. If I had it in me. One thing is, these dudes are writing. Look at these song lengths. They're all in the 2 minutes, right? Like, I mean, even as we go down the album, we're going under 2 minutes per song, but they're still writing songs in essentially pop song structure format. Don't get me wrong; they are writing by numbers. You're gonna have an intro, a verse, a chorus, a bridge section, and a chorus potentially for the most part. So they're not redefining the wheel here, but they're doing so in such a short time frame that you just jump into that chorus. You jump into that mid-late section. We're 1 minute 5 seconds in and we're at the bloody bridge. How did we get here so fast? You know, it just flies by and it's so energetic. And it's not all down to the structure. It's the fact that they're melodically composing these fantastic, hooks as you fly along the track. Let's go. Amazing songwriting.
Change it all. If I had it in me, stop my random thoughts and find the dreams. I could deal with this non-stop spinning world. Yeah, this non-stop spinning world. Yeah, this non-stop spinning world. Yeah, this non-stop spinning world.
Brilliant. Sugar in your gas tank. It's a great tune. I think let's have a look at the comments. So, someone might reference that skateboarding game. Street Skater Duology, someone says. I remember freaking out while playing Street Skater on PS1 and hearing this song playing. Such great memories, amazing band. I'm going to give you a thumbs up. For that. 10 replies. Dude, yes, those were the times, bruh. I love that game just for this song and Metalheads. Oh, does it have all my friends and Metalheads on here as well, or what? This song was the best part of that game too, lol. I wondered if I was the only one that remembered that game. Yeah. Also, it was Electronic Arts, and then Electronic Arts did the Skate trilogy. Is that right? Medic! What, was that a reference? Street Skaters appears. Yeah, I gotta put some respect on these people who associated with that game. You gotta put some respect on that. Get back! Put some respect on that tune. It's a great number. We got Shindo coming up next. Alright, I'll see you there. Mic check 1 2 1 2. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in. Had to get out of that jacket, it was quite warm. Track number 5, is it? Of 16. We're listening to Losing Streak today, as recommended by Carl on the Patreon. Shindo. Whoops. Something's out there and the world will have this spot to care. Something's out there. Something's out there. Something's out there. This is a great tune. This is a great tune. Something's out there. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Quite a hardcore feel to this bit, don't you think? The more aggressive vocal and the just straightforward punk rock. Remove that brass and you'd have a hardcore number. Somebody else. Great legato on that brass section from time to time. Yeah, something's out there. That was Shindo. Great tune, great tune, great tune. One of the better ones on the record, I would argue. Fantastic hook. Great energy, absolute powerhouse of a number. Yeah, powerhouse of a number. What more needs to be said? We've got track 6 coming up, 107. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. Enjoying this listen through, not going to lie to you. 107 is track numero 6. Let's go. We're not slowing down, are we? Are bands like this like starting and getting big at this point? Like, do you still get successful new up and coming third wave ska bands? Is that a thing? Or is this a sign of the times, you know? To the ground. Great tune, 107. Great tune. Was it the best track on the record? Nah, not really. But with that being said, we're still fulfilling the formula of great melodies, great brass section. This isn't a record where we're only introducing the brass for a moment or two. This brass is fully cemented throughout this entire record. Arguably, the vocal would be the main melodic section, but it's definitely in competition with this brass section. We got a big one coming up next. You know what? I've never really thought this was the best track, but the people disagree with me on this. This is like one of Less Than Jake's larger tunes. Johnny Quest Thinks We're Sellouts. Let's see if I can change my mind on this one. Yes, now blessed now. Don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. This is a fan favourite, this one. Johnny Quest Thinks We're Sellouts. I've never really gotten into it as much as like everybody else has, because this is like one of Less Than Jake's more popular ones, at least on this record. But let's see if I can find the flip side. I don't dislike the number, but I think from what I remember, melodically speaking, it doesn't really tickle my pickle like some of the other tracks on this record. Let's go. Then again, I'm not really too big on the science of selling yourself short as well, which is like a classic Less Than Jake number. Let's go. Someone referenced the Voodoo Glow Skulls. Bruh, I was supposed to see the Voodoo Glow Skulls when I was in high school, and I went to the place where they were playing. We had bought tickets and everything, and we got stopped at the door for security for being underage. I mean, I guess they got to do their job, but how disgusting is that? I just wanted to go and see the Voodoo Glow Skulls, man. It was just like some local bar. Like, what's going on? That's stupid, that, innit, really? Which raises an interesting question. Because if I went and saw like a hardcore band or something, generally most people aren't going to be under 18. But like at the age I'm at now, it is to my benefit if it's sort of like no kids are there, to be honest with you. But at the same point, you know, in hindsight, when I was stopped for being underage, you think, bruh, I just want to go and watch some music, you know? I want to support the act. Not right, is it really? Let's go.
Well, I really don't know if it matters at all, so but we try to keep the prices low for records. And our show is that enough, or is that we're not punk enough, or is that you think Scott sucks? Johnny Plastic thinks we're what? Johnny Plastic we're sellouts. Johnny Plastic we're selling out, yeah. Johnny Plastic sellouts. Johnny, yeah.
Big boom on that tom there.
Well, I really don't know if it matters at all, so but we try to keep the prices low for records. Well, our show doesn't matter. There's every street I share besides going to school and going to work. Others that you think Scott sucks. Johnny Plastic thinks we're what? Johnny Plastic we're sellouts. Johnny Plastic we're selling out, yeah. Johnny Plastic sellouts. Johnny, yeah.
Come on.
Johnny Plastics we're sellouts. Johnny Plastics we're selling out, yeah. Johnny Plastics sellouts. Johnny, yeah.
Hear that boom of the tom drum there. an alright tune. I don't know why people love it as much as they do personally. It's a good tune, but it's not the best Less Than Jake track, is it? I guess it just goes to show how subjective it all is, you know? Because I respectfully disagree over that being like better than an average Less Than Jake tune. I don't think too much to the lyrical content and the chorus, the hook, the melodical sort of involvement. But that's me. We got Crazy Glue coming up next, track number 8. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. Losing Streak, Less Than Jake, track 8 of 16. This listen through is devoted to Carl, who recommended this on the Patreon. Let's just jump straight in, shall we?
It seems I can't explain it all the reasons gone. I just can't seem to shake what I was brought up on. Well, it's hard to say and it's hard to explain that everything I know's been feeling strange. I guess we'll always have to
Nice development there.
fall back on.
I don't know this one much. Classic guitar tone there. It sounds like a choking victim.
Tradition seem to stick, tradition seem to stick, tradition seem to stick to you. Tradition seem to stick, tradition seem to stick, tradition seem to stick to you. Just like crazy glue. Just what the hell am I supposed to do? Am I just going to accept someone else's point of view? Yeah, well, we could ramble on and we could ramble on and on. Let's still not know, still not know.
Come on.
What keeps running through my brain? It just keeps running like a non-stop freight train. Shit's not trying to shit sticks to you. Just like crazy, crazy glue. Crazy glue. Tradition seems to stick, tradition seems to stick, tradition seems to stick to you. Just like crazy glue. Tradition seems to stick, tradition seems to stick, tradition seems to stick to you. Just like crazy glue. Tradition seems to stick, tradition seems to stick, tradition seems to stick to you. Just like crazy glue.
Pretty good tune. You see, in contrast to Johnny Quest thinks we're sellouts, that's more my cup of tea, you know. That's more my cup of tea. It was a decent tune. Yeah, a decent tune. Chorus, but fantastic clean guitars on that one. Great energy. What more needs to be said, man? We're sticking to what we do best with that one. We got Never Going Back to New Jersey coming up next. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Losing Streak is the album we're listening to. Enjoyable experience. This might be the longest one on the record at 3 minutes 18, to be honest with you. How crazy is it? 16 tracks and 3 minutes 18 is the longest track length. Never Going Back to New Jersey is this title. I don't think I know this one. This one definitely goes out to the New Jersey heads. Anyone who's from New Jersey probably enjoys this one due to the reference. Let's jump in, shall we? Right, let's jump in, shall we?
I'm from New Jersey and I'm proud about it. I love the garden state. I'm from New Jersey and I brag about it. I think it's simply great. All of the other states throughout the nation may be,
I don't think I really know this record beyond this point.
but I'll say New Jersey, brother. Jersey is like no other. I'm glad that's where I'm from.
You hear the boom of that tom drum again. Let's go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
There was a time when I could say it right to you that I would never want to leave this place. But now it's I was wrong. Don't want to fucking talk about it cause it feels like things have changed. Yeah, I can talk and say I'm wrong, but I feel I'm in a place I've never known. There's something wrong, and I know I don't want to know. And I feel it like I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back now. And I feel it like I'm never going.
Walking bass line. It's a bit subtle, a bit lost in the mix here, but it's nice.
Back again, never going back again. Yeah, well, there was a time when I'd say I must be crazy. I would say this place is looking strange, but now it's some kind of lost, and I just don't remember 'cause things never stay the same. Yeah, I can talk, and say I'm wrong, but I feel I'm in a place I've never known. There's something wrong, and I know I don't wanna know. And I'm feeling like I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back. No, and I'm feeling like I'm never going back again. Never going back again.
One thing about these ska adjacent bands is these dudes are all right to some extent because they play the instrumentation whilst doing the singing. But geez, like the politics of having so many people in the band, because of course, you know, you might have two guitars. Less Than Jake's got two guitars, and they'll have like a brass section which might be 2, 3, 4 people, you know, which is wild to be able to, you know, get on the road consistently with that behavior.
And I'm feeling like I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back. No, and I'm feeling like I'm never going back again. Never going back again.
There we go. Never Going Back to New Jersey. That was a pretty good tune. I don't think I've heard that one before. So I guess from here on, we're going to start to delve into the, you know, the actual first time listens. So let's jump straight in. Yeah, we've got How's My Driving, Doug Hastings, coming up next. All right, it's only short, so if we don't have too much to comment on, we'll blend it into Just Like Frank. Okay. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, blasting through the Less Than Jake losing streak record. This listen through goes out to my man Carl, who recommended it on the Patreon. Let's just jump straight in. How's My Driving, Doug Hastings, track 10 of 16. Let's go.
Right, Friday night, I called with a crumb. I left it 2 in the back of Doug's car. Without a plan, and being fucked up. Looking for something, yeah, for ourselves. Friday night, at 3 at a side door. Doug's trying to get the door just once more. I said, man, this is all fucked up. Looking for something, yeah, for ourselves. Feeling kinda weird, yeah, and I'm thinking to myself.
Shortest track on the record.
Feeling kinda weird, and I'm thinking to myself, fuck Doug, I'm not going out like this. He said, man, I'm all I've got, and I won't be missed. Man, this makes no sense to me. Either way,
Ignorant. I think that's the first gang chance we've had. Let's go back.
and I'm thinking to myself, fuck Doug, I'm not going out like this. He said, man, I'm all I've got, and I won't be missed. Man, this makes no sense to me. Either
Bruh, someone says, I have a friend who hates this band now because a few years ago they pulled him up on stage, but the band just ended up roasting on him because he was wearing a leather jacket. That's quite funny. Just humiliated the guy. I saw them at Warped Tour 20 years ago and the lead singer was walking through the crowd wearing literally all leather. Me and my friends made fun of him all day, and then when Less Than Jake went on stage, and lo and behold, it was him.
the way it's supposed to be.
Let's go. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
Right, Friday night, I called
Thought I was listening to Cock Sparrow then.
left it 2 in the back of Doug's car.
1 and 2 on 1 and 2 on 1 and 2 on 1 and 2.
Looking for something, yeah, for ourselves. Feeling kinda weird, yeah, and I'm thinking to myself. Feeling kinda weird, and I'm thinking to myself. Fuck Doug, I'm not going out like this.
Who the hell is Doug Hastings?
Man, I'm all I've got, and I won't be missed. And this makes no sense to me. The way it's supposed to be. Yeah, how's my driving?
These dudes can jam a lot of different ideas into a short amount of time without it sounding, you know, like it's forced. Do you know where I'm coming from? We got Just Like Frank coming up. We've got plenty of name references on this record. Just Like Frank is coming up next. Yes, now bless. Now don't forget the rest. Now Des, Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Just Like Frank is track number 11 of 16. Let's go.
Just like anyone, he's just like anybody. Just like anyone, he's just like Frank. I know it, you know it. This is what's not important to you. I know it.
Hardcore.
It's my way of wrong.
Hardcore.
I don't care about you. But you see my fighting, one thing that he can't do. When someone's politics lines you and binds you to something you don't believe in. Can't believe it. Just like anyone.
Just like anyone.
Just like anyone. He's just like anyone. He's just like anybody. Just like anyone. He's just like Frank.
Bong rip.
I saw him walking on my way past the street just the other day. Why doesn't he understand that he changes? I know it, you know it. This is what's not important to you. I know it. I don't care. I won't take the worst thing you can do. Whoa, whoa. Just like anyone, he's just like anybody. Just like anyone, he's just like anyone. He's just like anybody. Just like anyone, he's just like Frank. He's just like Frank.
Great track. Great chorus. Like one of the better choruses. Great sing-along value. I need to ask you, though, what do you think of the production? The production matches the artwork, I think. I think goes hand in hand with the overall aesthetic and quality of, you know... I don't know if I feel a nostalgic value purely down to the fact that I associate one track on this record to my youth, you know? And obviously the production value spans the entire record, so guilty by association per se. I associate all of the rest of the music with that one tune. That was a great track. I thought that was really good. Moving on, we've got Ask the Magic 8 Ball, okay? Yes, now bless now, people. Don't forget the rest now. Des, Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Less Than Jake. Ask the Magic 8 Ball is track number 12 of 16. Goes out to my man Carl. Let's go.
What the fuck have I become? I'm the product of the sum. Caught in this in a circle.
Calm down with the expletives, please. Come on. Where's my pork pie at?
Talking another one up to experience. Yeah, you know it doesn't make any sense to do it all over again and again, yeah. Do it all over again and become stupidest man, yeah.
Just so you know, doing a vocal line whilst playing the guitar in that fashion is pretty bloody hard, yeah?
Think I'm drawn up, but
Hard to do tight.
this never seems to end, never seems to end. No, it never seems to end.
Little noodle around on that bass liner.
Yeah, change.
1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and ding. I'll tell you what, there's not many drum fills on this record. Am I the only one picking up on that?
It doesn't make any sense to do it all over again and again, yeah. Do it all over again and become stupidest man, yeah. Think I'm drawn up back again. Dizziness never seemed to end, never seemed to end. No, it never seems to end. Drunk and sitting and thinking, yeah, change always seems to come when I'm sinking. What the fuck have I become? I become the product of the sum. Caught in this in a circle. I become the stupidest man in the world. Another one up to experience. Yeah, you know it doesn't make any sense to do it all over again and again, yeah, do it all over again and become stupidest man, yeah, I think I'm trying to break again. Dizziness never seems to end, never seems to end, no, it never seems to end. Drunk and sick, and thinking, yeah, change always seem to come with thinking.
It wasn't a bad tune, but it wasn't a standout track, that was it. It wasn't a standout track on this record. I could take it or leave it. I could rid it of the record, you know, and freed up a little bit of space. Made it a 15-track record. Yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. That was Ask the Magic 8 Ball. What are the people saying? Not many comments on this. We got Damien throwing the horns up. This is stuck in my head because it's so good, says Iris. Yeah. Dope Man coming up next. Hopefully not the NWA Dope Man. Dope Man, give me another hit. Yes, now, bless now, people. Don't forget the rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. Dope Man. It's track 13 and 16. A little bit of a boost in the numbers, so people are tuning into this one. Dope Man, give me another hit. That was a track on Straight Outta Compton.
Dope man's got another big plan to sell it to you or anyone he can. Because this is much better than minimum wage. No matter how things work, he's still gonna get paid. Think about it for a minute more. It's either working at McDonald's.
Clearly the double up of Dope Man at the start was a sort of reference to the NWA tune, I assume.
So the corner store, a quick money fix from a deal or two. When a decision comes down, what would you do? You take a welfare state or a dope man's fate and keep the cycle spinning around. Dope man's got the upper hand. People wanting it as much as they can because the reasons they'll always stay the same. And for some people, it's the only way to stay sane. Think about it for a minute more. A life of crime or hanging around the liquor store. A quick drug fix to get you through. When a city comes down, what would you do? You take a welfare state or a dope man's fate and keep the cycle spinning around.
What bass line's that? Da 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 da. Express yourself. I'm expressing with my full which actually was, you know, sampled by NWA. Express Yourself. It was Dr. Dre, wasn't it? But that song comes from way before. There's so many different older variations of Express Yourself in different styles. It's a great tune. Great bass line. This is almost Sublime-esque with the, you know, references and the hip-hop element included, like the homage. That was Dope Man. Decent tune. I think we were verging on a little bit of novelty in that one, which I'm not too fussed about. Not, you know, the moment I hear a slight little bit of potential novelty, it does turn me off a little bit. We got Jen Doesn't Like Me Anymore coming up next. Sounds like a Catch-22 / Streetlight Manifesto number. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Jen Doesn't Like Me Anymore is the title of this one, and it reminds me of Catch-22, if not Streetlight Manifesto number on a Keysby Nights, which is called, I forgot the name of the woman, So-and-so She Doesn't Know I Exist. It just reminded me of that for some reason. Let's go.
Jen thinks it isn't fair that I don't really care if she likes me or not.
I love that counting. That was hardcore.
She makes me feel like how he ran on Jen. She thinks I'm all that I've got. No, Jen doesn't like me anymore. No, she doesn't. No, Jen doesn't like to come to the shows. She don't like my
Good tune.
yeah, Jen, she don't like me anymore.
Great snare drum, eh?
No, Jen, she don't like me anymore. No, Jen, she
Don't like me anymore. Tempo change.
If she likes me or not.
1, 2, come on.
She makes me like how he ran on Jen. She thinks I'm all that I've got. No, Jen doesn't like me anymore. No, she doesn't. No.
He's got a great voice for like aggressive hardcore styled music. There's this guy, Roger, is it? Hold on, I just heard a vibration. Let me just check my phone.
Jen doesn't like to come to the shows. She don't like my
Good backing vocals in this one.
yeah, Jen, she don't like me anymore. No, Jen, she don't like me anymore. No, Jen, she don't like me anymore. No, Jen, she don't like me anymore. Jen.
Come on.
Jen.
Little sing-along section.
No, she doesn't fucking like me anymore.
Jen.
Now she doesn't fuck
Bruh, this is great if for anyone who knows a Jen or whatnot.
like me anymore.
Jen. And you know what? If this is like true, if this stems from like a real situation, this is a really good song to write about.
Now she doesn't fucking like me anymore. Jen. Now she doesn't fucking like me anymore. Jen.
Jen.
Now she doesn't fucking like me anymore.
Go.
Don't like me anymore.
That was top three on this record. Top three on this record. That was a great song. I thought that was really good. Great energy, great backing vocals. Backing vocals were half of the song, like as far as the quality is concerned. I love them backing. Great melodic hooks, great sing-along moments, good song length, like a lengthier tune that. And it was, they made it work very well. That was a great song. Jen Doesn't Like Me Anymore, that was. Track 15 is Rock and Roll Pizzeria. Let's keep going. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in. Listening to Less Than Jake. This is track 15 of 16, devoted to Carl Miller via the Patreon. Rock and Roll Pizzeria, let's go.
This is the weirdest fucking thing I ever heard.
Greatest song ever, says Doug2718. Some tempo. Earlier on I said there was no drum fills, and there we go, we just kicked off with one there. Wow. Yeah, just so you know, as far as views are concerned, I know some people disagree with my usage of like looking at the views, because you know some videos can be uploaded at a separate. There's so many different factors as to what creates the view count, but I do take it into consideration because I find it fascinating to weigh things up, you know. But this one's got like the least viewed video of like all of them, and I think this is really good. It's like the fastest one we've heard. This is a great chorus. I love them fills. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That was good. Rock and Roll Pizzeria. I thought that was a great track. The tempo shift from the two sections. Essentially, we had two sections, didn't we? The fast and then like little two-bomb skank section. That was really good. I'd put this in the upper half of the record as far as my appreciation's concerned. I thought that was really good. And now we're going to finish off with Lockdown. Yeah, 16 of 16. Let's finish this record. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV signing in and signing out on this one. Lockdown is the title. It's we're gonna finish off. This whole listen through has gone out to Carl Miller, who recommended this on the Patreon. Lockdown is track 16. After this, we'll do my final thoughts and rate out of 10. I'll see you there.
Something's not right. Some say the oven's broke, some say the oven blind. Something's not right. When history turns itself into a building site. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound.
Ba-da-da.
Something's not right when the downtown's all just a blinking lights. Something's not right when strip malls and condos are at your every side. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound.
Oh, come on. Oh, yo. This is a sound. This is a sound. Is that the bass guitar? Yo. Bro, they should have built on that bridge, like doubled that up. That was such a good sound.
Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound. Locked out, fenced up, closed down without a sound.
Ba-da-da. That was a great tune. That bridge section was pristine. One of my highlights of the record. When that second comes in, The brass on this section and this album is absolutely incredible. With that being said, I'm going to do one last video. Let's find out what my final thoughts of this is. I'll see you there. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Less Than Jake, Losing Streak. That's the record we listened to. It was devoted to Carl Miller, who recommended that on the Patreon. So thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, 16 tracks. I have heard so much of this record before. I would say I've heard up until track 8. So half of the record, basically, I was familiar with. Not necessarily the second half of the record, alright? So it goes to show what my attention span's like. But I really liked what I heard from this record back in the day. There's a few songs in particular I really adored. Sugar in Your Gas Tank, then and now, is like one of my favourite punk rock songs of all time, because it connects me to a time when I was ever so young, and I heard it on a PS1 soundtrack to whatever it was, Street Skater or whatever it's called on the PS1. It was part of the soundtrack, and it wasn't just me, it was a lot of other people. I could tell by looking at the comment section of that particular song. Absolutely fantastic. The sound of this record is really good, very 90s. Very 90s. The production isn't fantastic, but that doesn't matter. The production is good. Like, it suits the sound, and it suits the it just suits the energy of the band, in my personal opinion. Does it need a remaster? It'd sound pretty cool. It'd sound pretty cool to have a remaster, don't get me wrong. I would listen to a remaster, I wouldn't turn it down. But I don't think it's like necessary. The drums don't get given a whole, oomph. They don't get given much love on the production, but it doesn't make a difference. Sometimes the bass line could have a little more pop and presence, because we do know that bass line's going wild throughout the record. Of course it is, but we can't really pay too much attention to it for the most part. The mid of the record tends to take the full focus. We've got the vocals, we got the guitars, and we got the brass section that sort of takes up most of what you're hearing, or at least through my headphones that's the case. So yeah, really good. I enjoyed my experience listening to this record. Was there any letdown? Not necessarily. It all retained a good standard. It was high octane. If you didn't like one song, it didn't matter, because it'd be over and done with within 2 minutes. So, it's one of them records where if you do like the sound, if there's a bad song or two, you don't really feel too much correlation with. If you don't like the melodic value or so forth, or you don't like the tempo or this, that, and the third, it doesn't really matter, because it's over and done with. I liked it. Great instrumentation, tight ska, third wave punk playing. I would argue that the best part of this record was the brass section. The brass section is there with purpose and with consistency. They've not just been brought in for a couple of tidbits for the sake of it. This brass section is just pumping out the infectious melodies all over this record, all over these songs, and that's brilliant. The brass is in competition with the vocal line for the top spot as far as the sound is concerned. With that being said, I would rate this record. I'm gonna be very biased, but it's all bias. Every album I listen to, every review I give is bias, because it's through my ear and my past as far as my relationship with this record and this music and this sound goes. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, respectfully. Why wouldn't I give it a 9 or an 8.5? Well, that's because at this point in my life, I don't have much intention on returning back to this record unless I'm feeling nostalgic and might have had a couple to drink and just want some high octane, high energy music to listen to, just feel good, feel reminiscent. I'm only giving the high ratings to them albums that I'm thinking, wow, I need to get back and listen to this in my spare time. This album I've listened to enough, or at least the bits and bobs I've listened to enough. The new stuff, the new material, fantastic, great moments. And that's what I'm going to say. I'll leave it on that one. That was Less Than Jake, Losing Streak. One love, people.